Hello, my name is Paulo Leite, record collector. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and on this episode of The Best Record Shops, I am visiting Moods Music. Let's go inside and see what they've got. You know, I love buying music, and everywhere I go, I visit record shops. The moment I entered, the place smells like flowers, which is great because I'm going to be spending a couple of hours going over this collection. The shop is not very large, and in fact, it also sells decoration, clothing, books, and stuff for the home. This collection is devoted to soul, funk, disco, jazz, R&B, and all of their intersections. Let's start exploring in the first room, the section they call Classic Soul. Immediately I see good stuff with the Ohio players. Right there, I understood I was in a very special shop. This collection is incredibly well curated by people who really love this kind of music. The Staple Singers, Hoagie Carmichael's music shop. I haven't seen this album in years. It's great to find it here. Sly and the Family Stone. Yes, I know I'm gonna find Stevie Wonder, but there is so much more. There is plenty of Four Tops, Temptations, Honey and the Bees, Isaac Hayes, James Brown, all of them amazing artists and records. Now, this album was a great surprise. The Conroy Recorded Music Library. This is one of the best sound libraries of all time, especially during the 60s and the 70s. The original records are pretty hard to find, and it's amazing they are re-releasing this one. I have many of them myself, since I collect old music and sound libraries. In fact, that's the music you hear on these videos. This album contains great background beats and rhythms, and it is truly great. Now we go to their hip-hop section, and we got Sampa the Great, as well as other great stuff. I am a sucker for instrumentals, and this album by Jay Dilla is great. It's so interesting that over the last decade, or maybe more, hip-hop artists have been getting so creative regarding the way they arrange their original recording and samples that many of those instrumentals have become beautiful works of art. Sometimes I get myself yelling, "Can't you just please shut up so I can listen to the instrumental?" Well, thank God, now and then, some artists decide to release instrumental versions of their albums. This one is great. They have a small section of singles where you can find Potato Head People, Mary Wells, Jimmy Castor, and Roy Ayers. Personally, I never liked singles unless they had something I could not find on the albums. I remember back in the 70s and 80s, some of those singles contained on the B-side instrumentals of the A-side. I used to love that. Now to the jazz section. Again, great stuff. I love Alice Coltrane, and here they also have the CD, which is great because here many of the albums can be found on both vinyl and CD. Street Lady by Donald Byrd, another gem. Dexter Wenzel, Life on Mars. I love it. You know, I am tempted to say this is a rare record shop that has no bad records. I cannot find one. Now, about that series, Jazz is Dead? No, it isn't. Well, they have several different volumes on both vinyl and CD. The World is a Ghetto, the War album. They also have the 50th Anniversary Collector's Edition. Satin Doll by Bobby Humphrey, a beautiful album. I don't know who you are, Glenn, but you have a hell of a taste. On the reggae and funk section now. Plenty of funkadelic. Hello, Eddie Hazel. A strange find here, Heatwave. Oh, okay. Now to the soul and R&B. Look at these Michael Jackson remixes by Hiroshi Fujiwara and Kudo. That's a great reimagining of some classic Jackson's tracks. And of course, there must be a Prince section. And you can find here Whitney Houston's debut album from 1985, and right behind it, the CD. The dance section contains Donna Summer and lots of good stuff. In the Latin section, I found some nice Brazilian music like Azimuth and Gal Costa, Sérgio Mendes, and the classic Stan Getz and João Gilberto album. Now, just for fun, on the miscellaneous records, you find some oddities. Def Leppard, Fleetwood Mac, Elton, Nine Inch Nails. These are the strangest albums I found here. Oh, Smokey Robinson. It must have been a dream. And behold, the complete Wattstax 72 in 10 vinyl records. As impressive as it is heavy. The shop has a section dedicated to mixtapes made by local DJs. Daryl Harris, DJ Jamad, and DJ Tabone. Now the shop has a surprise for you. You have to go to the third room on the back. Here's where they keep the bulk of their used vinyl. The Latin section is quite good. But then we move to the bargain bin and we find some great stuff for peanuts. The Ohio Players. Classic Blue Magic. Maze. This bargain bin deserves your attention. One of my favorites, Neither One of Us by Gladys Knight and the Pips. A beautiful album named after the heartbreaking first song. This is an album from 1973. This was their last album at Motown. Perfect in every single way. Now, moving further into the back, we're gonna find more used soul, funk, and disco. And more used jazz. Here's the challenge. Find me a bad album here, please. Oh my god, Laurel, get this album now, you thank me later. Moods Music also sells turntables and speakers. But this gorgeous reel-to-reel from Pioneer isn't for sale. Yeah, I tried. Now, the least interesting section is their used CD area that is pretty non-existent, which is okay, that's not their thing. It's just a small basket with a couple of dozen CDs. Some interesting titles, but nothing I really needed. Their new CD section contains most of the new releases on R&B, soul, funk and hip-hop. But the best place for me was at the very front of the shop, where they keep their best reissues. Donna Summer, Love to Love You Baby, a love trilogy, 4 Seasons of Love, my favorite, and Once Upon a Time. Right next, Sirita's first album, MFSB. The titles I'm buying here, I haven't seen in a long time. Again, you will not find one damn bad record here. None. Some of these albums are pricey, yes, but keep in mind that these titles are very hard to find. And the music is great. Ripple, oh I'm getting this one. Jimmy Bohorn, oh I'm getting this one too. I absolutely loved spending my time at Moods Music. This is a very loved place, and the owner, Mr. Darryl Harris, was kind enough to show me his favorite record. What a great choice. By the way, Mr. Harris keeps some of his personal collection here. They are not for sale, and I wonder what treasures they hold. If you love music, soul, funk, jazz, disco, R&B, and all its variants, like I do, Moods Music is the shop for you. I loved my time here, and just to make sure everybody knows, this channel does not get paid for these videos. I am not getting paid for these videos. Plus, all the records I bought here, I paid for them. I bought a lot of stuff here, and I will be showing the records I got on another video. And you should be here with me.